had no desire at all to relate anything that happened to me in combat.
You know, you have all this buildup in your system, you know. But you gotta tell somebody, you know.
And so I'm telling you things that happened 64 years ago. And there isn't a day goes by that I don't think about it.
These men, all UTAHNS, served in World War II. Many of their stories would have gone largely untold.
Somebody started yelling, "Shark, shark, shark," and they came.
Stories of terror.
And pretty soon somebody let out a scream.
Stories of courage.
If it took my life, it was going to take my life. And I didn't think I was ever going to come back anyway when it went over.
Stories of overcoming great hardship.
You know that death is imminent. It's very possible, but still you're amazed at what's happening around you.
Their experiences might have disappeared along with their passing had it not been for a man with a passion to have those stories heard.
Tonight you will hear how ordinary Utah men and women who still walk modestly among us dared to tread and fight on soil in far-off lands.
This is Rick Randle, the voice of a KUED series entitled Utah World War II, Untold Stories. Hours of footage and interviews featuring Utah's beloved war heroes who risked their lives for country and freedom. For the past 12 years, Rick has made it his mission to capture these epic tales and to have them heard.
As I got older, I started studying World War II quite a bit, and I decided that winning that war probably has done more to preserve our way of life than anything else that in the 20th century.
Rick eventually decided the best way to get these stories out was to air them on television. So a meeting was arranged between Rick and KUED producer Elizabeth Searles, who after meeting Rick became convinced that this was a worthy project.
What I did notice about Rick is that, boy, does he have a great look. I mean, he's got this everyman look about him, and he's got a great voice. I said, if I'm doing this show, Rick's gonna be narrating it.
So they formed a partnership, with Liz spending countless hours in the edit room, combing through national war footage, while Rick narrated the programs and conducted hundreds of interviews with veterans like Cal McPhee, a submariner who served on the USS Finback, the very sub that rescued George H.W. Bush after his plane crashed into the Pacific.
And he'd been in the water about 3 hours, I guess. So then we moved in and got him and then took him aboard and submerged again until we could do some more rescue work.
Cal is a firm believer that speaking about your experiences in war, especially with relatives, helps with the healing process.
And that's what Rick Randle did. He gave these soldiers and sailors a chance to tell what they did in the service for the country.
As part of the series, Rick even interviewed a former member of the Hitler Youth Movement, Werner Sommerfeld. He was a teenager when Hitler was in power. Werner and his family emigrated from Germany to Salt Lake City in the 1950s, where he and Rick would become good friends.
But he is just dedicated. I mean, his whole effort is in the documentary history. And when I see him, and he's such a, still, he's quite humble in his way, what he does, you know.
What my goal would be is to have all the new generation realize and be aware of the sacrifice that was made. These guys that left were born 5 years either side of 1920. And most of them had never driven a car, they'd never seen an ocean, never been on an airplane, and yet they were called and went over to risk their lives in foreign lands to achieve our victory.